Being 30 years old, I've got to speak 8 different languages during my life, including my mother tongue. And in this video, I'm going to share with you my best practices, what has helped me to learn languages faster and to improve them on a daily basis. Tip number 1, being in an environment. Well, I personally grew up in a bilingual environment. I was born and raised in Estonia, Tallinn, and I'm speaking Russian and Estonian since I was born, and this has given me the understanding that there are different cultures and different languages in the world. And since I was a child, I knew that there is so many different accents and there's so many different ways to speak the languages. So I think I've kind of got rid of the fear of speaking quite early on. But even later, when I moved to first Denmark, then some other countries, then Sweden, where I currently live, I realized that the environment matters a lot. So if you have an opportunity to go somewhere to the country where the language you learn is spoken, try do that. Do that for at least a couple of days or a few weeks, because this will help you to immerse into this language environment and to hear more, to see the language, to read it, and you get to speak it. So being in an environment really helps. Learning many hours per day. Is it really helpful or does it cause anxiety? I would say you need to be positive when learning languages. Then, through love, you will learn a lot more comparing to learning having a fear of not doing something right or speaking wrong. So when I first moved to Denmark, I went to these language courses, which were like 2 times a week for about an hour and a half each. And I started slowly immersing myself into this language, and I was back then surrounded by international students, right? So we were learning language together, but we were learning it in Danish. So learning the language in the language itself, I find it extremely helpful. So after a few months of going to that international language school, I took an intense course where we had like 16 hours of language lessons during a week, and I just noticed a rapid increase in my language skills because I was fully immersed into the language. And after school I was going out and I was speaking much easier and much faster, and I could understand a lot more. So yes, if you dedicate more hours to learning language, it will definitely help. But actually, even if you don't have that many hours as I did, 16 hours a week is quite a lot. Having lessons at least 2 times a week for an hour or 2, or practicing daily for like 15 minutes would really help you to just keep this language in mind, in your head on a daily basis. I find it extremely important. Another tip how you can surround yourself with the language if you are not living in the country of a spoken language. Watch a lot of content, just consume a lot of content, and not only watch but also read and listen and try to talk if you have any acquaintances who speak the language. This is how I actually started learning Turkish, and all the fans of Turkish Dizi will understand me. When you watch a lot of Turkish TV shows or TV series, you start to understand the pattern, you start to listen, and you start to hear the way people speak, the way they change the words, if they use different verb forms, for example. So at some point I realized that I've been listening to these TV shows in Turkish so much that when I actually went to Turkey for travel, I could understand something that people were speaking in the streets or in the cafes. So eventually I took a course. So I booked like an A1 course for 3 months to just kind of ground my grammar and my vocabulary, and it really helped me to improve and to literally skyrocket my language skills. So starting from just listening, just watching to the original sound with the subtitles in your mother tongue really can help you to improve your language skills. How to read in a foreign language. You might have noticed that, let's say if you learn English and you follow somebody online on social media and you see some foreign words, you don't always memorize them. So what I do to memorize through reading is, first of all, I try to read something on paper when I can underline the words that I don't know, or even the phrases that I kind of know but I don't really use that often. So I underline them, and once I finished reading the text or the chapter of the book, I write down all the words that I have previously highlighted, and I just have a list of these words and phrases. So what you can do next is either use the sticker notes, or to be honest, I literally just put this piece of paper to my wall or to my cupboard, just to a place where I look at regularly. For example, if I'm washing the dishes, I reorganize something in the kitchen, I just see the list of words and I kind of read them, memorize them, try to use them, and most importantly, later on, trying to use them on a daily basis. So you can even pick like 2 or 3 words that you want to learn today and try to use them during the day, to just like add them to some sentences. Believe me, it's not that hard, but it's just a matter of getting used to it. So make it a habit. First reading, then listing out all the words, and then implementing the use of these words in your daily life. Mastering pronunciation can be another challenge. Personally, I have accents in any language I speak. Frankly speaking, my mom just told me that I have an accent even in my native language, which was completely surprising, but I guess that's what happens when you just speak too many languages, because it's kind of hard to control your tongue when you switch languages, especially when you do it very, very quickly. Do you really need to master pronunciation? I think so, but I wouldn't say that you should go wild about it. So how can you master your pronunciation? First of all, I would say through listening and repeating. So what I do sometimes is, while watching YouTube video, I can stop it and repeat the phrase said by the speaker. There are some apps that can also help you to practice your pronunciation. For English, there is Elsa Speak app. For any other languages, I'm not really sure, but if you know any applications, let me know in the comments. Perhaps we could exchange some nice, useful apps in this community. But I think just by listening and practicing, that's how you really nail it with the pronunciation. But again, just don't over stress. The most important when you learn language is to keep it grammatically correct, in my opinion. Broaden your vocabulary as much as you can. And here we actually come to another very important point. Don't aim for perfection from day one. And maybe it's just me, but I'm not a perfectionist at all in life. I believe that better done than perfect. So what has really helped me to become fluent in Swedish or in Danish back in the days when I used to live in Denmark is the fact that I was just speaking. I was just doing things, you know? Even if I didn't know the words, or even if I was not sure about my pronunciation, I was just there speaking out loud. Was it embarrassing? Maybe, but eventually it's your life, and you need to use language as a tool to have a better life, right? So how can you improve your skills? Just by practicing. And you can never be perfect while doing a practice. So that's why I genuinely believe that you should really start speaking, start writing, start making mistakes, and this is how you get better and better day by day. Because, you know, eventually practice makes perfect. Let me know in the comments which language do you currently learn and which struggles and obstacles do you face. I'm really curious. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos about language or living abroad or just like cultural differences. And we see each other very soon again. Have a good day. Bye.